Hey everybody, welcome back to the second part of the second round of the 2020 Y Open here in Cheyenne, Wyoming at Dry Creek Disc Golf Course. It's one of my favorite courses. It's a fantastic play. It's got some challenging holes, some wide open, some technical, and we're going to see how all these guys, Justin, Kyle, myself, and
Austin
Weik
out
as
of Fort
well.
Collins here.
And,
Yep, they're definitely showing us how it's done. We got Justin sitting, I believe, at 18 under now going into the back 11 holes. And Austin's still at 9. I believe you're at 7 right now.
Yep, and Kyle's
Just
sitting at
one
8.
behind Kyle, who's just one behind Austin, so still chasing down that second place. Justin's kind of pulled away as far as first place goes. Here's hole 11. It's pretty open hole, pretty easy hole. You just don't want to get it too flat and put it over the creek for the most part.
Or too low. There's a lot of bushy trees that tend to eat a lot of those low drives.
Yeah. Looks like Justin didn't have any problem with that. It always seems kind of wide to me, but then they have a nice angle on it. It's swinging in nice. Ooh, a
that
good
was
hop,
great.
too. Yeah, that'll put him, what, 15 feet it looked like? That's definitely where you want to put it. It's like you're throwing that PD3 again. You like throwing that a lot, don't you?
Yeah, and I don't want it to go too far. I mean, it didn't go far enough, but I don't like tempting that creek.
Yeah, it's easy to go over that creek. Just got to get it a little too flat, and it's gone.
That looks like a great shot out of Austin, too.
Yep, got a good hyzer angle on it, turning in.
Just inside the circle.
Just inside. So here is that putt you have. Oh, gave it a good bid. Just a little high and right again, it looked like.
Yeah, if I'm high, at least I'm giving it enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, right off the top.
Ooh, and that was
Kind of buried at the trunks.
almost OB.
Oh, really? Wow.
You never think of that part of the creek coming into play here, but it does.
It does.
And a great birdie from Justin.
Yet another one. I think that makes his third in a row right there. Kyle's trying to keep up. Nice
That was a
birdie out
great
of
drive.
him.
That was a fantastic drive. And Austin's got a little straddle out from the trunk there.
Oh, and just a little off of the right side. Sure, a lot of chains for falling out of that. He's going to tap out his bogey real quick. It's a good par save from you.
Move on to hole 12 after 2 birdies.
Yeah,
And
2
those are
birdies and a bogey on that hole, so that actually gives Kyle the second place right now. Takes it from Austin. Hole 12 is a dangerous little hole. You got the pond on the left and the creek on the right. There's normally OB long, but it's kind of filled in with sand, so...
that sandbar does play as safe back up by the I-beam bridge.
I believe over that sandbar would still be considered out of bounds, though, correct? So there is still
I
some
didn't hear
danger behind
any
there.
tell of anyone heading that deep.
Oh, okay. So it didn't really come up.
Ooh.
Ooh, and rolled down.
And from the,
Looks okay.
From the tee, that looked in.
Yeah, I bet. It's a really blind shot from the tee, so you really can't tell. You see it coming around that corner and you start listening. I bet that one looked pretty close, too. That was a great shot. Both of them got a little bit of a roll towards the out-of-bounds area, though. Ooh, and he just caught that branch that's hanging out there. Nice open putt, though.
Yep.
Ooh, and right over
and
the
gave
top.
it a bid.
Looks like he stayed safe as well. Justin just moving along. What is that? 4 in a row now?
Yes, sir.
That was a nice birdie from you there. Pick up another one on Austin here. We'll clean up his par.
And then
And finally,
Kyle will finally step up and tap out a beautiful birdie.
you guys made this hole look pretty easy. 3 birdies and a par. That's really not that common on this hole, but that'll tie you and Austin up. Kyle's starting to create a little bit of a gap there.
And Justin just maintaining that gap between him and Kyle, because right now both of them are just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Hole 13 here. Plays normally a big hyzer right around that tree.
Just like that. Wow, that was really nice. But yep, that's exactly what you want, is a nice high hyzer. Kyle's going a little bit lower. Oh, and he caught the top of that tree.
Pinched himself off behind that right.
Yeah, that
Russian
can be
olive.
really tough. Breaking out that PD3 again. Spiking it in there. Ooh, right by the basket. Wow.
And I've really started teeing off of that thing 4 out of 5 times per round these days.
Looks like you throw it pretty well, so I can see why.
And when you're and all of us are going for that hyzer line toward the basket.
Yeah.
If you don't get that distance, that tree really cuts it off.
Yeah, you can see the putt Kyle's looking at here. He really doesn't have a whole lot. Just try and punch it through. He got pretty close on that. That was pretty
It
good.
looks like Austin actually got the window and got the putt.
Nice.
That was a good shot.
That was really nice. Had to kind of do a little swirl around the branch
That window
there.
is the safe haven of all short drives on this hole.
Yes, it is. That's always what you're hoping for. It's a good birdie from you.
And Justin will step up with a look at his birdie as well.
Which, the way he's putting today, is about like a drop-in for most people.
And bam.
Just automatic at this point. Kyle clean up the only par on the card.
From what he was looking at back there, that's a decent save from where he was at.
Well, and that's why you really do kind of want to try and get that shot a little higher. Otherwise, you really are risking catching some of that tree that he caught. Coming up a little short.
Hole 14 here, 376 feet, has a lot of different windows and different lines you can take.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of this hole. Is there's
the
so
most
many
common
options.
play, is to go around all of it.
Yeah. I've seen some flexes through the middle gap and having them turn back, and some big high hyzers.
Yep.
I love holes that have options like that. It just makes it a lot more fun. Oh, darn.
Those essences can be a bit glidey.
Yeah, if you get one turned over too much, that's what happens on this one for sure.
And there's that hyzer line we were talking about.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, and he caught that tree. That's the most common problem with that line. That's the danger. That, and you're really risking the out of bounds line, I guess, as well.
That looks great.
This is coming in really nice.
Fantastic shot.
A little bit short, but what, maybe 25 feet? I think that'll be no problem for him.
Decent upshot from Austin.
Yep, that'll work.
Justin kind of left himself a bit of a putt here.
Yeah, that looks 55, 60 feet maybe.
That was a good bid.
Yeah, a little low, but nice line on it. See if you can clean up your par here.
Ooh.
Oh, just a little off to the right again, it looked like. And a good birdie from Kyle. Finally getting a stroke back on Justin there, I think.
He hasn't been giving many of them up.
Yeah, you don't get that chance very often. It's an unfortunate bogey from you, but like I said, with that Annie shot, it's real easy to find that out of bounds line.
Justin cleaning up his par. And I think Austin here is also going to clean up his par.
Yeah, that's another
That means
par
there's
for
only
him.
A single birdie and a single bogey.
Yeah. Guess
Averaging
average
3.
par.
Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. It feels like it would.
Yeah. So here we have hole 15. It's one of our shorter holes, but it's definitely not one of the easiest ones.
It's a really risky anhyzer. There's also a big hyzer that some people throw at it. But the standard play is that sidearm. But Kyle just showed me how to make that anhyzer work.
Yeah, it is there to be had, but it is touchy. I mean, you're either pretty wide left or usually in the bushes short of it, because it's a real touchy shot. That's the more common line that you see from Justin right there.
It's such a touch sidearm too.
It really is, because it's easy to end up in the bushes right or short on that as well.
Austin just didn't quite keep that turn on it.
That's more likely what you're going to see from the backhand throw.
It's a nice wide open putt, though.
Yeah. Looks like you have that turning in just right. Oh yeah, that'll be a pretty easy 2 from there. Didn't even go into the bushes at all.
See if Austin can crash this in there.
Oh, just a little bit too nose down on that one.
But he tends to putt nose down, but when he hits, it actually works to his advantage because it folds into the chains.
That's a good point. You'll clean up your birdie. Looks like Austin's going to get to clean up his par before Kyle gets to putt.
Yeah, that was a fantastic drive from Kyle.
You really don't see a backhand drive that good on this hole very often.
No.
Usually you're way long or quite a bit left. It's a tricky shot. So 3 birdies and a par on that. That's actually really impressive, even though it is such a short hole.
Those all those bushes around the basket tend to be responsible for most of the bogeys on that.
Yes, indeed. So here's hole 16. It's not much longer than that one, and it's quite a bit easier. Just you want to make sure you don't go out into the road on the left, otherwise you're in pretty good shape on this, especially if you throw a shot like that. That was a great drive on there.
Justin, slightly wider, but fighting back. And
Yeah. Left him. There's some branches over there that can make that a little bit tricky of a putt. You got to keep it low, or you might not get through. Looks like you guys are all kind of finishing off to that left side, risking the road a little bit, but all coming up safe so far.
And the line for the road OB was actually kind of away from the grass.
Ooh. That might have been an ace run if it had been just a little longer before it cut in. That was really
great.
nice. You can see that branch he had to go under there, kind of going around there
Still
now.
has to crouch under it to go pick up his birdie putt there. That was a great putt.
That was a great putt. That branch is tough to get under sometimes. Ooh, good chains, good putt.
Yeah. A little right again.
But at least it caught this time. Nothing wrong with that. Nice birdie from Austin. Are we looking at a possible star frame here?
I think that'll be if when Kyle sinks this. If Kyle sinks this, this will be the first one of the round.
Come on, Kyle. Don't let us down here. There we go. Right on. That's one that is most likely to have a star frame happen on, though. So
yeah, it's one you really want to get.
Yeah.
If you take your 3 on that, you automatically feel like you're losing strokes to the field.
A 3 can almost feel like a bogey on that hole. And so here's hole 17. This one, it says only 478 par 4, which seems a little short for a par 4, but most of us are going to do something like Kyle's doing here and just lay it up to the opening. If you have the arm, you can do what Justin's doing. But if you're a little bit low or a little short. You can end up in those Russian
he got even
olives.
deeper than he got last round, but he's a little pinched off by that branch there.
Yeah, he's gonna have to kind of straddle out of there, but he definitely got a hold of that one. Looks like you got a hold of that one pretty good too. Oh yeah, that'll work out real nice.
Austin.
Ooh, Austin's going for it too.
Ooh, flips it a little bit.
Is he gonna make it over?
Ooh, not from the reaction on the tee pad
he
there.
He says worst case scenario, and he's not kidding. That was actually his third shot. We didn't see his second shot. It didn't make it out of there. And that's what I mean. It's almost not worth the risk. He only moved
maybe 3 or 4 feet on that next throw. It was unfriendly.
Yeah. Being in those Russian olives is unfriendly.
That was a great 2 shot from Kyle there. Just parks the basket. And, you know, that was a really good up from Austin.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot from there. That can be trickier than it looks. It's a touch shot. Looks like you're going to go the little flick around the side.
Didn't really have much else, and I went more straight at it. I didn't want to give it too much and let it go toward that road.
I can understand that. That was a great approach shot. Nice easy 3 on this hole. That's always what you want. Oh, and Justin for the eagle. And I think that he deserves to feel like that was an eagle, because that's a tough par 3.
No.
And
oh, man.
All right, Kyle clean up his 3. It's easy to miss those when you've kind of got rattled from taking a big number, getting out of the Russian olives. That's why I feel like it's just not worth the risk going over the top. It's just, the punishment is too great.
And Justin with the very rare 2 on hole 17.
Yeah, you really don't see that very often. Moving to 25 under par for the tournament already. And he's still got 4 holes to go on this round. Kyle's really making a move as well.
Yes, he is. He's not letting Justin get very many on him. That eagle was the only way he could. And another decent drive.
Ooh, and he snuck through. Usually those just stop you dead.
He's got an open putt for his 2 from there.
Yeah, might be a little bit longer, but this is one of our more forgiving baskets, so it's easier to run on him.
Oh, Kyle, same thing.
And he got through, too.
He really got through.
Yeah. Maybe even helped him a little, kicked him out there more open.
I got a little high on it.
Oh, and it kicked. Oh, you're out in the fairway, though. Nothing wrong with that.
I think that's the first thing I said when it dropped. Well, I'm in the fairway.
That's usually the fear, is just don't kick somewhere I can't get out of.
Austin has a great drive. A little deep.
Little deep, a little left. Looks like he's just outside the circle.
Give him this little...
Ooh, and that just didn't... You didn't want to put it in those trees to the right, and you could tell you were nervous about that, the way that flew.
I left myself some work for my par there.
Yeah, that's 25 feet, almost 30.
Ooh, great bid. That flashed the chains.
Yeah, just a little bit to the right. Oh, and just a little bit low. Got Justin for his 2. And
great shot.
Moving right along. Wow.
And Kyle steps up for his birdie putt as well.
Wow. I think that's Kyle's 5th birdie in a row.
He's just been on fire this back 9.
He's really trying to make up some ground, isn't he? Austin will clean up his par.
Run up and just tap out my bogey real quick and just run off.
So 2 great birdies from Justin and Kyle. For a short hole, that's tough to get the 2
They got a little help from the trees, but still, those were really good drives.
Well, and those trees just as easily could have stopped them dead and left them 45, 50 feet.
The hardest 175-foot hole you'll play At least in this town.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. You really got to turn it. Or that putt that Justin left himself is a scary putt.
It's a very similar putt to what he had last round.
Yeah. Kyle going with that up over the top backhand.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's almost perfect. Still a little left of what you'd like.
I like being down in that gully instead of up on the hill.
Austin going with the forehand.
Landing in a similar spot.
Yep, a little longer than Justin, so he might not be as much straight at the creek. You got yours higher, so it'll turn more to the right. Oh, parked it, but that's going to be an interesting putt.
Yeah, that's the price for running this. You either go OB or you're in a tree.
Yep. You can see how he's really...
Oh, good bit.
Little acrobatics there after the putt. But yeah, he was really putting towards that drop-off behind the basket. That's scary.
Fantastic birdie.
That was a great putt from Kyle. Making it 6 in a row, I believe, at that point.
Double turkey.
Double turkey. Austin lining up his birdie putt. Oh, just a little bit high that time. Oh, and you're having to resort to the turbo putt.
Didn't really have much of anything else.
Yeah, I bet. Great birdie from there. That was a great birdie. Austin will clean up his par.
And I believe Justin will end up doing the same. I don't think he bounced off too far. Nope.
No, he's just got to drop in there. Easy par. So we got 2 birdies on that hole and 2 pars.
That's actually playing pretty under what that hole usually plays as.
Yeah, you don't see very many birdies on that for a hole that's less than 200 feet. It's really surprising how seldom you do see it birdied. It's just a testament to how difficult it is, I guess.
And that looks fantastic.
Yep, hole C here is pretty much just what you see Kyle doing there. Just throw a big hyzer.
Puts himself at about 30 feet.
Yep, that should be pretty makeable for him. This basket is one of the least forgiving baskets on the course, though. It's kind of scary to putt on.
I sawed my drive off. Hyzered a bit too much. I usually try to bite down into this fairway so I don't get too much of a flare and head toward the creek.
Oh, and that little branch there kept him from skipping too far. A lot of times those tall weeds will catch your drives if they get skipping, but I have seen quite a few just jump out into that creek, so I can understand what you mean. It's easy to leave it a little short like that then, though, huh?
Too much from that one.
Yeah, ended up in the rocks possibly even there. Looks like Austin was having a little bit of trouble. He's a little close to that bush. Kyle is just inside the circle. Oh. You think it was those shallow cages getting in his head?
It could be. Oh. And that's why.
And that's why. Most baskets that probably would have been in, no problem. Kyle and Justin will tap out their pars real quick. Looks like you're in the bush a little, too.
I'm in the rocks with super awkward footing this whole way.
I bet.
And I have to dive out to the side. And Austin looks at me, he's like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Way to prevent a foot fault, right?
Oh. That was, yeah.
Great job.
And that's a star par.
Yeah, and on that hole, that's pretty common. You see that most of the time. It's not an easy birdie to get. And here's hole 18. And the map is showing the line that these guys are all throwing. It's more of a big arm line, though, so you don't see it as often on the course normally.
There is the safer play of the sidearm through that left gap or the Anheuser through that left gap.
Yeah, or even...
And that's the biggest risk-reward here is, do you make it past those last few trees.
Right. Looks like you took that plenty wide, so there's also a chance of being safe on this side.
Safe on this side or in the water.
Right. I believe that one did stay safe on the current side, the right side. Justin's going wide and high as well, trying to really cut it over there.
Ooh.
Oh. He parked it the round before, so... Well, he made it over and was circle's edge, I guess, the time before. So I'm sure he was hoping for that again.
Austin going real high.
That's almost what it takes to make sure you get over those trees. Ooh, and he looks like he probably crashed through them.
Just past the bridge. About halfway down the fairway.
It's tough to get the distance when you're going that high.
That was a great shot for that birdie save.
Yeah.
Justin went deep.
Yeah.
And ended up wet.
That was good up and over, though. It's easy to end up in those bushes trying the shot he just tried. And it looks like you have a similar one here. Oh, kind of playing it off the tree.
Gave it a bit too much. It's either not enough or too much. It's really easy to do on that shot over those bushes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Right. Wow.
Great shot for a par save there. Almost got it.
Justin to clean up. Was that his only bogey on the round?
Bogey of the round for him.
Oh. You'll clean up your par. That's a good way to end this. This hole makes it hard to feel like you ended a round on a high note.
Yeah.
Bogey for Kyle as well.
And a par for Austin.
So that pretty much ends our round on a kind of rough note. 2 pars and 2 bogeys.
But that still puts Justin total for the tournament at 25 under par.
And 14 under for that round with a bogey. That's pretty impressive.
Now, Kyle Griffin and Mac Lugo, I believe, were actually tied going into this round.
Yeah,
and then tied again to keep themselves in second place.
Yeah.
And I'll be hanging out with them going into the lead card of the final round.
Yeah,
at
so
Little
unfortunately we lost Austin for the next card, but we're gaining another Wyoming boy, so that's always cool. I believe Mac is out of Casper, is that correct?
Yep.
It's pretty nice getting some of these Wyoming boys showing these Colorado boys we can play as well.
Well, we'll see how different we play the course on the next round at Little America, and it's a much different game at Little America for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys tackle that course, so I hope you all come back and join us for that.
Later, guys.